with me, the Broken Bottle Boy, here on Twitch. Today's show is a four paper show. Look, it was going to be a magazine special, but frankly, I've been so tired, so physically just ruined, partly by humidity and partly by incredible joint pain. So that's not good. But nonetheless, got four papers for you today. Good afternoon, Mark. How are you doing? Four papers today. Sun, Guardian, The Times, and the Daily Mail. So sort of a classic run through for us. We're going to start with the Sun. Get it out of the way. I'm just going to have some mustard. Hold on. Delicious mustard. Hi, Slinkamata, how you doing? Did you say you were weakened by humility? No, I was weakened by humidity. I've never had humility in my entire life. No, that's not true. Anyway, yeah, I don't. And I also suffering some random and not pleasant joint pain. So I think I may actually have to go to the doctors. Biggie says hello anyway. Right, we're going to start with some front page of the Sun, top right-hand corner. Everyone's favourite cuckold, the winner of British Cuckold of the Year, Harry Cole, writes, PM bid to stop another lock. Boris Johnson is to unveil a toolbox of measures to avoid a fourth lockdown. That means we absolutely will get a fourth lockdown. The main story is about the National Television Awards, and they go with reporting on Kate Garraway's nearly crying when she received a award for her documentary Finding Derek, about her husband Derek Draper, who has had a really horrible experience with COVID, been really, really very ill. But of course, she looked sad and was crying, and and was wearing a dress that didn't show any tit. So they've gone with a picture of Holly Willoughby instead, and a completely ginned up story. Holly loses hotel room to Afghan refugees. Yeah. Thanks, Lenka. Yeah, it's just I just literally had to return to bed until just before the show this morning, and given that I've got to actually write some stuff today, I mean, I know I already wrote the newsletter, but you know what I mean. Anyway, moving on page 3, that isn't page 3, but is page 3. Jasmine Tookes is a model, and she's wearing a bikini. Also on that page, Riyadh's a blue vroom, 120 mile per hour city ace banned. A blue vroom. I don't even know what that headline means. On pages 4 and 5, emotional stars message to NTA viewers. We've all been touched by COVID, so our story is your story, says Kate Garraway. And then more pictures of Ant and Dec winning awards. An advert is telling me there's an IKEA festival approaching, and I think capitalism has gone too far. Yes, I think it happened quite some time ago. Hey, Freya Bentos, how you doing? They've got a whole double-page spread of who they considered wore a good outfit and who didn't wear a good outfit. You know, the classic judgment of women by the Sun. On page 9, tank engine has tanked. Parents infuriate at new Thomas Tank Engine. Thousands of angry parents are steaming over the new Thomas the Tank Engine film, with kids reduced to tears over the menacing cartoon look. Terrifying Thomas the Tank Engine. The children's classic has been given a 2D makeover to appeal to a new generation of young fans, but the dramatic change backfired after hordes of angry mums and dads told how their youngsters were now devastated. A mum raged, "Why have they made him look like Dennis the Menace? It's frightening. My 5-year-old is so upset." Another added, "My 6-year-old daughter almost cried. She hates it." A third fumed, "My Thomas-obsessed 3-year-old said, that's not Thomas." Oh, fuck me. It does look like Dennis the Menace's face, to be fair. The menacing Thomas the Tank Engine. Right, moving on. Kim Jong-un has got a new suit. Hello, Jung. Got a new suit. No Kids TV will be as traumatic as the original Magic Roundabout VHS Dougal and the Below Cat. Yeah, which Mark Commode is obsessed with. He references it all the time. Pages 10 and 11. Stop all the locks. Green light to give out vax boosters. Passport scheme at pubs and stadiums. Biggest flu jabs rollout in history. Add blitz to target most vulnerable. This is the story from Harry Cole, who cannot stop himself from sucking up to the Prime Minister. The MP, Tim Lawton, who's an absolute piece of work. And he's using this picture of Tim Lawton. I know we're used to byline pictures that are deceptive, but it's from about 30 years ago. Tim Lawton says, if France won't take back the boats, don't pay them a cent of that 54 million, pretty. Tim, tell you what, mate, how about you put on a life jacket and you just go and try and force them back yourself? Your one-man wanker army. Navy, in fact. Supermodel Irina Shayk wore an outfit at New York Fashion Week, and she has breasts. So that's the Sun. We've got a story out of that. Also on page 13, more on this Churchill thing. Churchill betrayal victory. Woke charity chiefs did a U-turn yesterday after wiping Sir Winston Churchill's picture from his own foundation. This complete horseshit. Right, is complete horseshit, and even the reactionary Nicholas Soames, Churchill's grandson, has said this is completely stupid and we support the charity and this is just dumb. And it is dumb. And if you want to know why it's dumb in glorious detail, go to check out the newsletter after this. There you go. Mark says that Tim Lawton's surname should be Lofton, but clearly isn't because he's a coward. Fair enough. Adrian Childs, our favourite turnip-headed holy fool, writes, a shaft of light from 9/11. Victim who forgave his attacker. He talks about he's tricked into thinking that George W. Bush meant well. Oh, God. He writes about West Brom, because he always does. He writes about Emma Raducanu. Anyway. And he writes about Bend It Like Beckham, a film that came out so long ago. C122, H122. Hi, Mick. Doing anything for the weekend? Just some work and some laying down, probably. On pages 16 and 17, Waducanu, how Brit tennis ace will net 100 million as the new Sharapova. I hope she's not the new Sharapova, because Sharapova never actually had that much success actually on the court. Hey, Mogshed, how you doing? On page 19, Pretty's French clash turns nasty. Migrant cash threat anger. Oh, fuck you. Just fucking Pretty Patel. Shaft of light makes me feel vaguely uncomfortable. Yeah, me too. James Corden has been granted a temporary restraining order against a woman in the US who claimed that she wants to marry him. Poor woman. On page 23, vile cop attacks autistic lad at school. Probably saw this footage on social media days ago. The guy, Christopher Cruz, 57, has been convicted of assault against the boy. Horrendous. But also, what the fuck were police doing in a school? Page 25, Anne is astonishing at 52. Picture of Jennifer Aniston. You too could look like that if you had millions and millions of dollars and an army of stylists. On the bottom of page 25, J-Law to be mum. Pregnant star Jennifer Lawrence is pregnant for the first time. With her first child, sorry. Yeah, and so that's meant that paps are going around taking pictures of her. Oh, cool. Okay. I like the All Ireland. 27. Page 27. UK's most reckless thieves. Know who you're tackling, lads. Yobs break into Rugby Hulk's car. Foolish car thieves played with fire by breaking into a Range Rover owned by hulking England rugby star Ellis Genge. Two masked men on electric bikes pulled up to the vehicle, but were smashing a window and grabbing a rucksack. Leicester Tigers ace Genge, 28, who is 19 stone, is nicknamed Baby Rhino, posted a video of the break-in on Twitter. Yeah, whatever. I hate the word yob. Absolutely hate it. Page 28, more stuff about the stupid new spitting image. And of course, many new racist puppets. And a great opportunity for them to continue to harangue Greta Thunberg. On page 29, cat atrophy. Family have strangers puss cremated by mistake. A family cremated a dead cat thinking it was theirs, only for it to turn up later on the doorstep. Their own cat to turn up later on the doorstep. Former frontman of the Bay City Rollers has died. On pages 30 and 31, disabled and abandoned. Oh no, sorry, he died a while ago. They've just done the inquest. He died as a result of alcohol and drugs. He had a shit life, bless him. On pages 30 and 31, pandemic trauma of kids hit by 434 million pound shortfall. Maybe if you didn't support this government, things would be funded. No, not the one they cremated. They cremated someone else's cat, thinking it was theirs. Then their cat turned up. Spitting images curse to C122H122. Absolutely agree. Guessing when judges, is that Matt Ford at it again? Yeah, unfortunately so. Right, moving on. Last night's TV, they review Joe Lycett's Got Your Back, and TV picks for tonight: The Northwater, BBC 2, The Cleaner, BBC 1, and revealed The Hunt for Bin Laden on Sky History. Okay, but it was a dead cat they cremated. Yes, Mark, it was a dead cat they cremated. In Dear Deirdre today, agency scams means I still don't know about father. I tried to use a tracing agency to find my biological father, but instead I've been scammed out of a fortune. Ex-lover is now my art teacher. I had sex with my art tutor before I began studying at the college where he teaches. Now I can't... college where she teaches. Now I can't get her off my mind. She is 38. I'm a woman of 21. When I applied to art college, I had no idea who would teach me. Okay, well... okay. My ex keeps son and I secret from family. Even though we were together for 4 years, my ex-boyfriend is keeping me and our 6-month-old son a secret from his family. Well, he's a piece of shit. In the Fab Daily today, a thing about cut-out outfits, whatever, just an excuse for them to put pictures of women. They write about the 30th anniversary of Metallica's Black Album in Something for the Weekend. Today's £50 letter comes from Connie Lennon, no relation. To many in my generation, Winston Churchill is one of the greatest men in history. It's unbelievable that Winnie's photo was removed from his charity and the charity renamed. Would we still be the country we are now if he had not been in charge and willed us all on to defeat the enemy? Also, I'm at odds to understand why he and so many of our past heroes are now defined as being racist. Well, I tell you why that is, Connie. It's because of things he did and said. I hope people do not make contributions to the new charity. They do not deserve it after defiling our greatest leader's memory. This didn't happen. Alex Dixon writes, by defeating Hitler, Winston Churchill ended one of the most hideous race crimes in history, the Holocaust. So it beggars belief that a charity bearing his name has denounced him because his views on race are now deemed unacceptable. The charity, the Winston Churchill Memorial Trust, was set up to honour the great man. Thanks to today's absurd woke culture, it's diminished his remarkable achievements. What a disgrace! By the way, not only did Nicholas Soames, the Winston Churchill's, one of Winston Churchill's grandsons, say this is ridiculous, his brother is the chair of this charity. So the Churchill family couldn't give a fuck about this. Mark Connors says people that call him racist at the time were ruthlessly suppressed. Oh yeah, and also even people that weren't, like Leo Amos, Leo Amory, who was a conservative minister and part of Churchill's government. He said frequently, Churchill's really a lot more racist than the rest of us. There was various other friends of his who said that. The US Vice President said that, and that's coming from a country that was still heavily pushing segregation and all kinds of other racist policies. So the notion that he was only as racist as everyone else at the time is just not true. He was like extra racist. C-122, Joe Stalin ended World War II, honour the name. Mark Kenosis, stolen Stalin on Valor. Right, move on. Water on my glasses now, Jesus Christ. Moving on. They say that the Aretha Franklin film is a bit cheesy. They gave it 2 stars. And in the sport, Ronaldo, I'm going to be huge. Again, no mention of the allegations. Right, so give me your scores for The Sun before we move on to a speed run through The Guardian. If people in the 40s are saying you're racist, you're really racist, yeah. Amory said that Churchill's views on Italy, on India were pretty much equivalent to Hitler's. So, there you go. Right, yeah, give me the scores for The Sun. And before I move on to The Guardian. It's really hot. I have to keep the door shut when I'm doing the show, and I'm really warm. Classic negative nice from C122, H122. Quintuple negative nice. No, centuple negative nice from Slinkenmeyer. Right, here's The Guardian. Mark Kenosis, minus 69 jars of unidentified cat ashes for the Sun. Right, I'm going to try and do The Guardian in 2 minutes. This is going to be a shit show, so let's see how it goes. And here we go. Right, so their main story is revealed. Ending benefits uplift will hit sickest areas the hardest. Incredible revelations. Minister's press will roll out a third jabs. Inside, Art of the Divorce, historic sale follows a marriage split. The Macklowe art collection's being sold after Harry Macklowe and his wife Patricia Landau broke up. Welby criticises the national insurance plan is not people-centred. Without new facilities and more staff, any hope of reducing logjams is a pipe dream, says Dennis Campbell. Sweet Swap, why there's such a thing as too much free time? Fuck off. Activist branded UK's COP26 the most exclusionary ever. Yes. Priti Patel. They go through all the things that she said she's going to do that she hasn't, which is sort of good in a way. UK prepared to fly lethal drones in Afghanistan if needed, says Wallace. I mean, I'm sure we'll find a reason. Saved by a whisker. Study says beards make the face a harder target. Tactical beards. Rare butterfly warms to biomass heating scheme. Facebook moves into faceware with Ray-Ban smart glasses. Really not great. Lessons of 9/11. We should have talked to our enemies, says Jonathan Powell. Right, fuck off. You were there at the time. Gordon Brown. The West has no excuse not to share its vaccine surplus. I'm sure we'll find one. Emma Brooks says a fraud child perfect for the Instagram age. Can't get into what that is right now. There's a special magazine from the University of Portsmouth. The front cover of Film and Music is about Anthony Fauci. Fauci fever, how Hollywood turned an immunologist into a superstar. In the obituaries, Tony Selby, versatile actor in a wide range of TV shows, including hard-hitting realist dramas and the sitcom Get Some In. And Otelio Saraiva de Carvalho, mastermind of the 1974 coup that sparked Portugal's Carnation Revolution. In the World News Press, freedom has ended, says Afghan journalist. And in the sport, Poland racism row denial issued after England claimed that guilt abused Walker. That's The Guardian. There you go. Mark Gnosis, never mind 9/11. How about the lessons of Google Glass? Well, yes. Thank you for redeeming Hydrate C122 H122. Slinkamaya, yeah, too much free time. Okay, capitalist shill. Hope people in those Facebook glasses get beaten up like Google trial people did, says Mark Kenosis. I hope they don't get beaten up. I hope the glasses are just swiped off their faces like a bully going at someone in an 80s teen comedy. Right, let's get on to the Times. We're actually motoring at a good speed today in the show. Should finish on time. Okay, on to the Times. I said that. I've cursed myself now. Yes, thank you, C122, H122. I did need it after the speed round. Right. The Times, front page of the Times. Drama on ice, real story behind TV's latest blockbuster. The execrable bricks and mortar, their property supplement has. It's mayhem, bidding wars and backlogs. Imagine that was something you could worry about rather than just, paying rent to fucking awful landlords. Top story story at the top of the page: Queen and her family are BLM supporters, Royal Insider claims. Yeah, if that's the case, then the Queen should come out and say it. I don't fucking believe it. Main story: huge rise in protection from COVID booster jabs, studies suggest. Tories trailing Labour with lowest backing since election. Yeah, I mean, that won't last. On page 3, tennis star with an ace up her sleeve. Emma Raducanu was a precocious talent. Now she has a smile to match. Her mentors tell John Westerby. Right. Crowds at farm shop are a bloody nuisance, admits Clarkson. Well, just stop selling stuff there then. DUP threat to pull out of Stormont. They do that all the time. Britain sends Taliban a drone warning. We're just desperate to drone people, aren't we? New pound coin with the Queen kneeling on it. So look at my, okay, the headline about the Royals and BLM just made me burst out laughing. John Lennon described himself as a hypocrite on the make for accepting an MBE, but added that if honours were given out for killing, then you should certainly get a medal for singing. His comments were made in a series of interviews conducted in 1969 and 1970 Canadian journalists, with the Canadian journalists that have recently emerged to be sold at auction. In the interviews with Ken Zelig, really, that's the name, Lennon spoke of his favourite tracks by the Beatles, the band's place in history, and his own often disparaging view of music critics. I mean, well, we knew what his feelings on the MBE. He sent it back in 1969. So, yeah, and also he was a bad person. Queen doesn't support the one black person in the family. I want her to do the knee, yeah. Page 9, coroner raises the alarm over remote GPs after 6 deaths. You'll find that this is the main story on the Daily Mail front page. Mother who played Fortnite to bond with son is now pro gamer. I quite like this story. Anne Fish, 58, is the mother of Benji Fishy Fish, one of the world's best Fortnite players, and has managed him since he went professional 3 years ago. To try to better understand the game her 17-year-old son is so good at, Fish began playing Fortnite in February and streamed her efforts on the platform Twitch, as well as putting videos of her matches on YouTube. Fish from Sunbury-on-Thames in Surrey has seen amassed a following of 430,000 followers on Twitch and 165,000 on YouTube under her gaming title, Mama Benji Fishy, and has now signed a paid contract with an esports company. She will be paid monthly by Galaxy Racer, based in Dubai, to stream Fortnite, produce educational and entertaining YouTube content, and play in tournaments. Fish is a good boy, says C122H122. I like that. That's kind of cute, isn't it? Whitty set to grant approval to teenage vaccination program. Chris Jackson and his bride Lisa Huggins did a underwater ceremony at the Bear Grylls Adventure in Birmingham to get married. I mean, fraudster who turned to God faces US extradition. Electric charges for all new homes in England. I believe that when I see it. Don't fall for fool's paradise of abundant free time. Here's more on this fucking story. Working age adults around the world are said to be facing a time famine with so much to do in too few hours. A study suggests, however, that having too much leisure time is bad, as having too little, and 2 to 5 hours a day is the best amount. The research involved 22,000 working age Americans describing how they spent their time while reporting on their sense of well-being. Well, Americans have got a disturbed attitude to work and free time anyway. Fuck that. On pages 18 and 19, office staff are slower and less focused in polluted air. Yes, it's poisoning them. Yeah, exactly, C122H122, fuck off shill. Weather on the Line halted 5.7 billion's worth of trains. Multi-billion pound trains were withdrawn from some of Britain's busiest intercity lines after being damaged by the weather inquiries are found. An investigation by the rail watchdog found that cracks in Hitachi-built trains may have partially caused by their exposure to seawater and rain. Okay. Arlo Parks won the Mercury Prize last night. Learning judo could help elderly people cope better with falls, apparently. Speed camera that caught thousands found to be faulty. Speed camera used to find more than 51,000 drivers over 2 years was faulty. Campaigners want motorists caught by the camera, located on the dual carriageway on Maybury King Way in Southampton, to be refunded. According to figures from 2015-2017, 30-mile-an-hour limit camera was triggered about 70 times a day and recorded 51,049 people allegedly driving over the limit. The camera is still in place, so many more people are likely to have been penalised. The minimum fine, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it turns out it didn't work properly. In the comments section, James Forsyth just tells us what the government wants us to hear. since his wife, Allegra Stratton, is a senior government comms official. Number 10 fears flu, COVID, winter, double whammy, he says. How about you give the column to someone who just isn't just simply a mouthpiece for the government? Emma Duncan writes, we ditch Anglo-Saxon discipline at our peril. The high cost of European-style welfare plans will be unaffordable without economic reform. Fuck off. Anne Treneman in The Notebook, don't care about what she's got to say, frankly. Gerard Baker is super right-wing, and it writes, awful truth about 9/11. The terrorist won. The war on terror weakened America and cost far more in money, lives, and foreign policy distractions than it gained. Now, you might think, oh, that sounds accurate, right? But his reasons are not our reasons. I'm not going to go through the column, but, Anglo-Saxon discipline, imagine. Very quick hello from the Business Factory from SK the Crusader. Hello here from the Discourse Factory. Birthdays today. Colin Firth is 61. Sir Thomas Allen, the opera singer and Chancellor of Durham University, is 77. Right Reverend Dr. John Armis, the Bishop of Edinburgh, is 66. Baroness Laurie Burt of Solihull, the Lib Dem MP until 2015, is 67. Professor Jane Clark, the biochemist and president of Wolston College, Cambridge, is 71. Reverend Canon Prof. Sarah Coakley, the Norris Holtz Professor of Divinity at the University of Cambridge, is 70. Isabel Colgate, the novelist, is 90. Christopher Columbus, the film director, is 63. Misty Copeland, the ballerina, is 39. Edmund de Beauval, the ceramic artist and writer, is 57. Baroness Aubrey Emerton, the president of the Florence Nightingale Foundation until 2016, is 86. Siobhan Fahy, the singer-songwriter in Bananarama and Shakespeare's Sister, is 63. Liv Garfield, the chief executive of Severn Trent Water Authority, is 46. Judy Gleason, the actress, is 73. Jack Grealish, the footballer, is 26. David Diddy Hamilton, the disc jockey, is 83. Richard Harpin, founder and chief executive of HomeServe and growth partner, whatever they are, is 57. Dame Sian Leggy Burke, the Lord Lieutenant of Powys, is 78. Peter Lovesey, the writer, is 85. Jack Ma, co-founder of Alibaba e-commerce group, is 57. Owen Morgan, the cricketer, is 35. Sir David Pountney, the artistic director of the Welsh National Opera, 74. Guy Ritchie, Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, is 53. Bill Rogers, the golfer, is 70. Peter Strauss, managing director of the RCW Literary Agency, 61. Viscount John Thurso, the chairman of Visit Scotland and MP for Caithness, Sutherland and Easter Ross until 2015, is 68. Professor Janet Todd, the literary scholar and author of Don't You Know There's a War On, 2020, president of Lucy Cavendish College, is 79. Don't name your child Christopher if your surname was Columbus. Dan Jones 3142. No, I forgot about the backgrounds. Yes, welcome to it's just our good friend the Churchill statue having a pint with Nigel Farage. On this day in 1797, Mary Wollstonecraft, the women's rights advocate, died aged 38 from complications nearly 2 weeks after giving birth to her second daughter, the writer Mary Shelley, author of Frankenstein, although she didn't become the author of Frankenstein until somewhat later. She was not that precocious. The last word today comes from Logan Pearsall Smith, essayist and critic, in the book Afterthoughts from 1931. People say that life is the thing, but I prefer reading. Nerd. The Taliban beat journalists with sticks, and the and the Times, I mean the same thing, aren't they? Has grotesque pictures of that. The day I told Bush a second plane hit, we're under attack. The president was already angry on September 11th, 2001, but it was on his second flight on Air Force One that day when he was told that he was still not going back to Washington, that he lost his temper. This is Andrew Card. This is in the documentary that's came out. I don't know why they're running this as a story. Nazi-era nut cake baked to a crisp in RAF bomb raid. Archaeologists discovered the remains of a 79-year-old cake that survived Bomber Command's first substantial raid on a Nazi German city. On the frosty night before Palm Sunday in 1942, more than 200 RAF bombers attacked Lubeck, a shipbuilding centre near the Baltic coast, dropping 400 tons of munitions and whipping up a firestorm that killed 300 people and razed almost 1 in 10 of the city's buildings. One of the ruined houses belonged to a trader called Johann Hitzer. That evening, the Hitzer family appears to have prepared their basement kitchen for the next day's festivities with a glazed, elaborately decorated nut cake, a precious coffee service, and even a gramophone, a stack of 15 records, including Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. Hours later, the ceiling collapsed and the bombs began raining down. The Hitlers escaped. The cake was left behind, preserved beneath the rubble for nearly 8 decades. Seen as unearthed by chance, archaeologists from the city administration sank an exploratory shaft at the site. Exploratory shaft, eh? The cake has been partly carbonized by the fire, but its structure, including the sugar glazing, the nut brittle crust, and the ornamentation around its edges, was still clearly visible. There you go. Exploratory shaft, yeah. On page 33, Socialist Femme Française launches bid to succeed Macron. This is the mayor of Paris, Anne Hidalgo, who will begin an uphill battle as the main socialist challenger for the French presidency this weekend in the face of competition from 2 more popular candidates from the left. An Oregon professor said he was forced to resign by his woke colleagues. Peter Boghossian, you're going to see a lot about this prick, said the staff at Portland University in Oregon had abdicated the university's truth-seeking mission and instead drove intolerance of divergent beliefs and opinions. Boghossian had previously had run-ins with university officials after authoring a series of spoof research articles to highlight his belief that morally fashionable papers, no matter how absurd, could be published in social science journals. His resignation letter was published on Substack. And guess who was involved in promoting it? Why? Barry Weiss and Neil Ferguson. Anyway, of course the Times loves this. They put in their leader article, academic strikes a brave blow for free speech. Boghossian is a clown, man. I agree. Yeah, sorry, I just didn't notice Mark's comment there. He's a clown. Hey, Pablo Bonzo, good to see you. Duterte and daughter to create political dynasty is the claim in the Philippines. President Duterte will stand to be vice president in the next Philippine elections in an effort to prolong his grip on power, increasing speculation that his ambitious daughter Sara is being groomed for the top job. Oh, good. On the front page of the Times 2 Arts today, drama on ice, the true story of the Victorian whalers who inspired a new star-studded TV thriller. In Caitlin Moran's Celebrity Watch, whatever. Death on the Ice, or a story behind the Arctic whaling drama. In the critics, Jennifer Hudlin's voice rivals that of the Queen of Soul in a powerful musical biopic, says Kevin Maher. So he enjoyed Respect, gives it 4 stars, unlike The Sun that gave it 2. In Bricks and Mortar, God, who cares? Casey Musgrave's got a new album out. It's a breakup, divorce record. They give it 4 stars. It's called Star-Crossed. TV review, Imagine Tom Stoppard gets 4 stars. I can imagine Tom Stoppard, he exists. Pablo Bonzo says, I met the mayor of Pau in the south of France in the late 90s. He was gay communist, which I found surprisingly progressive as French, until I was told he kept his sexuality secret until after he got the job. Why me? And the other thing in the TV review, A Killing in Tiger Bay, also got 4 stars. Today, let's see, today's obituaries in the Times. Moving on. Oh, Satnam Sangaria in the business section writes, gimmicks to judge job applicants never work. Human beings are too complex. I mean, yes. Right, the obituaries in the Times today. It's so hot. Edward Barnes, children's television producer who created Blue Peter, who helped create Blue Peter and Newsround, and had a falling out with John Noakes over Shep the dog. Jonathan Miles Lee, idiosyncratic country life illustrator of grand houses, whose patrons included Sir Roy Strong, Prince Charles, and Francis Bacon. He's died of cancer age 52. It's very sad. William St. Clair, fellow of All Souls and author who reluctantly found himself cast as the leading campaigner for the return of the Elgin Marbles, has died. He was 83. Think of my, I found out yesterday Bruce Springsteen faked being gay to dodge the draft even though he didn't need to as he failed the physical. Yeah, he writes about that in his autobiography. They're still trying to get you to invest in a racehorse. This time it's Secret Scripture. 60 quid to buy a share. Secret Scripture is a 5-year-old chestnut who won an Irish point-to-point over 3 miles on only his second start. Covering his purchase at the Goffs UK sale in August, the Racing Post reported that Secret Scripture has the pedigree to match his talent on the track and commanded plenty of attention in the ring. Seems odd to me, this. I don't... Iggy Pop's story about doing that is amazing. I don't think I've heard that, Mark. In the sport, new film offers rare glimpse of Schumacher's private pain. They give that 5 stars. It's on Netflix. Ronaldo, I want to start against Newcastle and play till I'm 40. Okay, continuing to ignore the allegations. Dan Jones, 3142. When did I miss the new coins? Coins. There haven't been any coins today. C122, H122. Investing in horses sounds odd. I feel like I just don't trust it, you know? Is that Helena Blavatsky's horse? I don't know who Helena Blavatsky is. Paul Nichols noted that the damn line goes back to Kato Starr, who won 17 Grade 1s for us and all the King Georges and Gold Cups, and was a fantastic horse. He went on to describe Secret Scripture as the complete package, is aiming to get him ready for a run before Christmas. Beginner owner with nothing extra to pay for the syndicate term, visit Old Gold Racing. There you go. Ron Ashton just showed up to the office on a 3-day speed bender with a can of beer in his hand. Told the first officer he found to fuck off and got rejected. Ronaldo's name is being airbrushed. Sad. Talk about spaffing your money against the wall. Right. Back page of the Sport. UEFA chief in boycott threat to World Cup. And Josh Butler heads of football in England training on the eve of decisive fifth test against India at Old Trafford. Wrong size of ball, mate. There you go. Anyway, the final test ended up turning out not to happen. It was cancelled today, 2 hours before it was meant to start. Madame Blavatsky was a famous mystic, huge influence on Aleister Crowley, etc. Ah, okay. Yeah. My brain is not with me today. Pablo Bonzo accidentally wrote Monet instead of money. Though if you own a Monet, I suppose you could do it on that. Yeah. All right, give me your scores for the Times. For me, what was there an animal story in there? Wasn't great, was it? Double negative nice. Remember, you can spend your Herzogs on stuff, including like making me stand up properly or drink water. It's good if you remind me to drink water, actually. Madame Blavatsky and her philosophy also appallingly racist. Okay, well, this is turning into the Madame Blavatsky stream. Right. Anyway, give me your Daily Mail scores. Sling Command, me and Salim Fang have been talking about her a lot recently, but of course she's not in the chat to appreciate my joke. Posture check. Thank you, C122, H122. Right. All right, let's move on to the Daily Mail, our last paper of the day, and in fact of the week. Daily Mail, deadly toll of remote GPs, same story that's in the Times, but they've given it a front page. And Ant and Dec won at the NTAs for the 20th year in a row. Hence today's show title, Ant and Dec's 9/11. C122, H122, stop voting Tory. That headline can fuck off. Yeah. On pages 2 and 3, all the dresses from the NTAs, dresses and suits from the NTAs. On pages 4 and 5, 1 in 10 on NHS waiting lists, 5.6 million need treatment, and Health Secretary admits it'll get worse. Primary school's deputy head is charged over rape of a child. Jesus. Deputy head teacher at primary school has been charged with facilitating the rape of a girl under 13. It emerged yesterday. Julie Morris, 44, has worked at St George's Central Church of England Primary School for around 10 years, was remanded in custody while she appeared in church on Monday. She appeared alongside David Morris, he's not her husband and the pair are not related. The alleged victim is not believed to be a pupil, and a spokesman for Merseyside Police said the offences were unrelated to her employment. Jesus Christ. They've really buried Ant's drink driving. Yeah, because he's got a new wife and all this kind of stuff. National Television Awards are not real. 20 years of Ant and Dec. Jeff must be beaming with pride. Still remember when they used to just rip off Vic and Bob on CBBC post Biker Grove. Yeah, me too. On pages 8 and 9, how can she go on? It's so nauseating that a failed ex-Met chief can blithely dismiss criticism of Dick as sexist. Especially Stephen Lawrence's mother and Leon Britton's widow signed bombshell letter demanding she step aside. That's Harriet Sargent who wrote that. She is author of The Police and Public. On page 11, Don't Drive Me Out. As he faces fury over his farm shop clerks and pleads with his neighbours. On pages 12 and 13, the Daily Mail gets in with this stupid Churchill story. War over Churchill insult. PM condemns charity's move to airbrush Winston, but is backed by his grandson. In, out, in again. How website keeps changing. We never... Oh, right. Here is the insane thing. From David Abulafia, who is involved in History Reclaimed, right? Look at this headline. We can never surrender to the woke witch hunt against our island story. God forbid we just have the facts. God forbid we just actually print and read things that Winston Churchill said and did. Paolo Monzo says, Trev and Simon better than Dick and Dom, better than Ant and Dec. Bill and Ben, the Flower Pot Men over Ant and Dec, says Slinker Meyer. Dick and Dom over Ant and Dec, says C122, H122. Fuck right off with that headline, says Slinker Meyer. Absolutely agree. And then the pull quote, zealots exploit history as an influence of propaganda to bully the rest of us. It's just the facts, if they're the facts you want, as a racist old historian, right? But it's propaganda if it's the rest of us saying, no, hang on, actually, you know, he was, for instance, involved in ensuring that food didn't go to India and remain stockpiled in the UK. And he said, oh yeah, there's no point in sending aid because, and I quote, the Indians breed like rabbits. The man was a racist. People of his era said he was a racist. It's not an opinion we've just generated now. And it doesn't mean that you go, oh, well, he had no role in the prosecution of the Second World War or the defeat of the Nazis. Of course he did. But then, of course, these people never talk about the role of the Soviets and the Russians and hundreds of thousands, millions of Russians who died in getting that victory, and how without the two-front battle, that wouldn't have happened. How can they deny his race and talk about whitewashing history? They're not airbrushing Churchill out of history. They airbrush Churchill's life to make him great. Black and Tans comes to mind. Exactly. Tony Pandy. There's so much stuff. You know, his role in the absolute disaster of Gallipoli. There's all sorts of stuff. Right, go big on a picture of the pregnant Jennifer Lawrence. Disgusting. Page 16 and 17. Disgusting that they picture her, not that she's pregnant. 16, 17. Medics who refuse jabs face sack or office roles. Good. Ramsey's 5 million COVID nightmare. Lockdowns hit his restaurant chain. I'm sure he'll get by. Work from home isn't as good, says study by Microsoft. Fuck off. On page 19, they write about the legendary showbiz correspondent Donald Zek, who they call the High Priest of Gossip. He died aged 103 last week. Richard Littlejohn is awful. I mean, he's just a piece of shit. Like me, Boris doesn't have a leg to stand on, he says. Last year, during lockdown, my left knee gave way. There's no chance of seeing my NHS GP, so I went private. Fuck off, Littlejohn. On page 23, as 3 months delays follow 6-year battle, women still facing pension cash chaos. Microsoft just salty that Teams lost out to Zoom. Yeah, agree. On pages 24 and 25, how Bowden beat the high street. Started 30 years ago by an Etonian ex-banker. It's defied the fashion fad. How could it possibly have succeeded being started by an Etonian ex-banker? It's destroyed so many rivals thanks to the Yummy Mummy Army that's made it a £300 million survivor. And who wrote this piece? Why, it's Liz Jones. On page 27, a story about Prince Charles trying to save a historic library, which is not in any way a distraction from the recent Cash for Honours scandal. And also on that page, Queen backs BLM. Says someone who claims she said that. Richard Littlejohn should have to be locked in a cage to C122, H122. Pablo Bonzo. Richard, you couldn't make it up, Littlejohn. But he can and he does. On pages 28 and 29, millions of words have been written about JFK murder conspiracies, but few know the even more tantalizing mystery surrounding his brother's death, and claims the shooter was hypnotized, that have even convinced his son, as the killer is set for release, was an innocent man framed for Bobby Kennedy's murder. Few know this. Loads of people know this. It's a very old story. Fuck you, Tom Leonard. Page 31, Tale of Two Settees. Grandad's sofa turns up with two left-hand sides. What a £3.5 million fiasco. Now the armoured vehicle left 310 soldiers injured, faces the axe. We don't know how to make things. Right, September 10th, 2021, the On This Day column. On this day in 1948, the Daily Mail wrote, Mr. John Derry, 26-year-old test pilot and ex-RAF fighter, is the first Briton to fly faster than sound at 35,000 feet. Last Monday, above the home counties in the bat-shaped tailless de Havilland 108, Derry flew at close to 700 miles an hour. September 10th, 1984. Private schools were urged to stop caning pupils by the Independent Schools Joint Council. Now parents of state school children can refuse to let them be beaten. Eton headmaster Eric Anderson said corporal punishment should be allowed to disappear quietly over the next couple of years. Happy birthday to Siobhan Fahey, 63, and to Colin Firth, 61. Also born on this day, Thomas Sydenham, 1624 to 1689. Dorset physician, was a founder of the clinical medicine and epidemiology. Known as the English Hippocrates, he wrote Observations Medicae, a standard medical textbook for 200 years. He discovered Sydenham's chorea, or St. Vitus dance. Sydenham studied at Oxford, but broke off to fight for Parliament in the English Civil War. Beryl Cook died in 2008, but was born on this day in 1926. Surrey-born artist paintings featured large ladies and described by Victoria Wood as Rubens with jokes. Cook said she preferred painting larger people, as the bigger they are, the less background there is to fill in. On September 10th in 2020, Dame Diana Rigg died, aged 82. And in 2001, Charles Ingram won the top prize in ITV's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but never got the cash. He was instead convicted of cheating with the help of cops from another contestant. Quote of the day from Stephen Fry. I don't watch television. I think it destroys the art of talking about oneself. Oh, fuck off. And joke of the day. This is so shit, this joke. I keep dreaming I'm falling through stage doors. My doctor says, don't worry, it's just a stage I'm going through. Stage in the setup and the punchline. The fuck? Right. Pages 36 and 37 are the gossip thing. Pages 38 and 39. Why I've sliced off my daughter's $3 million inheritance by American Pie's Don McLean. First, one of rock's giants admitted domestic abuse to avoid jail. Then his daughter waded into the row. Now, his astonishing response. Oh, fuck off. Domestic abuser. In the book reviews, they review a thing about the Duke and Duchess of Windsor called Traitor King. In the TV reviews, comedy legends Lauren and Hardy gets 4 stars. Body in the Snow, Joanna Yates gets 2 stars. In the cartoons today, Garfield is hanging out with John's girlfriend and they're looking at their phones. In Chloe and Co, Chloe and her friend are drinking and talking about mental health, but in a really crass way. Chronotherm, sliced off my daughters had me very worried. Mark Kenosis, because that's not what a stage door is. Yeah, it's not what a stage door is. Stage door is the door at the theatre where you normally have a stage door keeper, and it... Anyway, fucking hell, I used to work at the theatre. Garfield cocking John, absolutely. Lauren and Hardy, a late review. A review of a documentary. Right, here is the appalling poem of the day. Nursery Rhyme for Our Time by Ken Irons of Newport, Isle of Wight. Features here quite often. London Bridge is falling down, so I went elsewhere into town. My mission was to view again the sights that I knew way back when. Those city buildings steeped in glory, all of which could tell a story, always fascinated me in our part of history. Imagine, therefore, my surprise when I encountered gals and guys all lying in the street half bare, while coppers just stood standing there. Next I saw a banner flaunted, built on blood money it taunted. Red paint was daubed on famous buildings from Guildhall to the Bank of England. From onlookers I learned the truth, the hostile mix of age and youth protested there at global warming and wanted us to heed their warning. Unless they said we acted fast, the consequences would be vast. So after this surprising session, I came away with the impression that protests are not always silly, but I don't live in Piccadilly. Jesus fuck. Right. Only 3 straight to the point letters today, so Cliff Brewer of Bognor says, more emergency lame eyes and accident black spots on smart motorways. Just keep building more until they all join up. It's called a hard shoulder. Brenda Spray, her again. She was in the paper. She had a letter in, literally had a letter in yesterday's paper. Beautiful late summer weather, yet the shops are full of coats and jumpers. Brenda, the shops have to decide far ahead of time when shit gets made and shipped. Fucking hell. And Vincent Hefter, another one who turns up in this paper a lot in these letters. After Napoleon's tricorn fetches more than 1 million, who wants to be a millionaire? Fucking hell. Right, let's see what today's recipe's for. Is it going to be anything nice? It's a lemon curd and orange cake, which is so fine. Coins, 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 coins. A magnificent new 24-carat gold coin featuring unique portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, available for just £39. The new 2021 Queen Elizabeth II gold laurel coin struck in 24-carat gold. The new gold. The new release coincides with Her Majesty's 95th birthday celebrations and features a remarkable portrait of Queen Elizabeth that's exclusive in 2021 to this new release. A unique appearance of the Queen facing the wrong way. Wrong coin, it's wrong Queen coin. Coins, 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 coins. The stores are going to get you to buy sofas, shelving units, garden equipment. And in the sport, what a mess. Test given go-ahead 11th hour after England's COVID collapse. No, it hasn't. It's now got going on. Ex-employee says racism is rife at Yorkshire Cricket Club and council workers offer to shoot football chief. A trading standards officer offered to take out a football league club owner by shooting him with a deadly accurate sniper rifle from 1,000 yards plus. The extraordinary claim was made by David Bourne, a worker for Cheshire West Council, while discussing the authorities' investigation into businesses owned by Fleetwood chairman Andy Pilley. In an email to a member of the public seen by this newspaper, Bourne wrote, "For 500k I would take out the problem with a .338 Lapua round. Lapua round. Dolphin rifles, Class F to a nice one. Accurate, 1,000 yards plus." Pilley, owner of the League One side, has been left distressed by the staggering note and has brought insecurity at his family's Lancashire home. As well as one trading standards officer proposing to shoot me in return for cash, I also returned home one Sunday afternoon with my partner and children to find another investigator waiting. No World Cup of Darts coverage. Is everything wrong with our media? Hang on. Well, let me just check. There might be some darts coverage. There is, in fact, no darts coverage. She's facing left. Maybe she's a Marxist queen. With that and the BLM story, it can only be true. Right, okay, give me your scores for the Daily Mail. I'm going to do the roll call. I'm just going to do the normal, remind you of some things. If you're not a subscriber to the newsletter, do. It's free to subscribe, and then if you like it, you could upgrade to the paid version, which helps me keep going. And if you want to help support the show and don't want to subscribe here on Twitch, just chuck some coins into the PayPal fund at paypal.me/conquest of the useless. And minus sextuple negative sextuple negative nice from Slicker Meyer, a negative nice from C122 H122. Chronotherm, if you want darts coverage, drink some warm pints, says Chronotherm. Okay, here is the roll call in the chat today. SK the Crusader was briefly here from the Work Factory, and we appreciate seeing him. Remember to subscribe to him here on Twitch if you don't already, and look out for his stream later. In the chat today, another TT viewer, Ash Flats, McNulty, Billy Wilder, C122, H122, Commander Root, Dan Jones, 3142. Everybody loves Raimondo, Fast Deb, Gethin Jones, Hosu312, Chronotherm, Mark Kenosis, Mogshed, Pablo Bonzo, Recursive Rose, Linkermeyer, Snur, Studying Fangirl, and the Royal Flush. Thank you to you who are here now, and thank you to everyone who's tuned in both today and across the week. If you're watching this on YouTube, do like, subscribe, and all that other stuff. I will be back on Monday at 1 p.m. with the next show. In the meantime, find me on Twitter and other places. C122H12 is sitting with a small dog, says happy. Fantastic. Thank you, Mogshed. Thank you for tuning in. Cheers, Pablo. Thanks, Fry Benos. Boom. Have a great weekend, everyone.